This is a Renew Studios Network podcast. Faithful, uplifting, family-focused.
When did making plans get this complicated? It's time to streamline with WhatsApp, the secure messaging app that brings the whole group together. Use polls to settle dinner plans. Send event invites and pin messages so no one forgets Mom's 60th. And never miss a meme or milestone. All protected with end-to-end encryption. It's time for WhatsApp. Message privately with everyone. Learn more at whatsapp.com.
Routine, adjective. Used to describe an individual whose spirit is unyielding, unconstrained, one who navigates life on their own terms, effortlessly. They do not always show up on time, but when they arrive, you notice an individual confident in their contradictions. They know the rules but behave as if they do not exist. Routine, the new fragrance by Miu Miu, defined by you.
This is a Rogue Media Network podcast. All right, y'all. Welcome to another episode of Relationships and Reason. And it's going to be a super exciting episode. We've got some legends here and some legends in the making.
In the making, yeah. Wow.
So, hey, so you got some affiliation and some connections here. So I'm going to let you kind of do a little bit of intro of King and Bella here.
Yeah. Well, first of all, I'm super excited for this conversation today. Today, we're going to talk about transition, right? Yeah. What it's like to transition from one stage of life to the next. We have Bella, who is about to transition from high school to college and, figuring out what that journey is like. And hopefully King can give us some insight about that. And then we have King, who transitioned from college to being in broadcasting and an ESPN analyst. So just kind of figuring out what that transition was like, going from an athlete into the world of broadcasting and all of that. But King played at Baylor for 2015 to 2019.
Yes, ma'am.
Is that correct?
Yes,
and I know you have some challenges that throughout that journey, but I'll let you talk about that as we go along. And Bella is from San Antonio, kind of like our hometown, because it's like our second home. San Antonio. So we're super excited just to kind of chat with you and just to kind of see what you do outside of basketball. I mean, I know everybody knows you for basketball, but we want to hear, who is Bella?
Wait, first, like, for those that don't know, as far as basketball, like you're pretty good.
She's pretty good. We'll talk about that.
Yeah, pretty good.
We got some stats to like run down. We'll talk about that a little bit. But All-American in the making. Yeah. Yes, All-American in the making. 4.0.
Yeah. Yes.
That's important. That's the important thing.
Student athlete.
Yes. Student athlete. Played for SA Finest.
Yes.
That was your last go around, right?
I played with SA Finest for 10 years.
Oh, wow.
Since second grade. That was my last season with them.
Oh, man.
It was good, though.
That's amazing.
Yes.
Oh, my gosh. Was that a bittersweet?
It was definitely very bittersweet. But I think by the last tournament, I was kind of like tired of it.
Yeah, you
like 5 games in a weekend.
Yeah.
But it's definitely very bittersweet to like leaving a family. For
yeah.
Sure.
Aw. And another stat, ranked number 12 in the nation right now for the 2026 class. So yeah, I thought you were gonna be running down some stats, right? Yeah. And King can relate to that because you were ranked. What were you ranked?
I ended number 38. I wasn't as high as her.
Well,
but I was number 38.
It's for the guys.
It's still okay.
It's top 15. It's top 15.
But top 15.
Okay.
That's impressive.
Thank you.
That's a different level.
Thank you.
Yeah. You can tell all the hard work that you put in. So who can you give the credit to for that?
Definitely my family. I think growing up, I was just always in the gym with my brothers. Like, I didn't even want to play basketball at first, but I was just like always in the gym. And then my dad would take me to Silver Stars games.
Okay.
And he would take me to watch the older Finest teammates. And then I kind of just like fell in love with basketball from there. And then my dad was always in the gym with me. My mom was always there for support and like watching my older brothers always working out. That's how I got into it.
Okay. So my daughter has hope.
Yes, so there you go.
Sky's like, Mom,
I gotta get it right.
Mom, I don't want to have anything to do with basketball.
I wanted to be like a ballerina, cheerleader.
Oh,
Yeah, no.
Oh, really?
Yes. I used to want to be a cheerleader. I was so mad my dad never let me cheer.
Wow.
He was like, "No, you're gonna be the one who people are cheering for.
Oh.
You're not gonna cheer for other people."
I actually
was
like
okay.
that.
Hey, that's exactly.
That was fine.
That was
That
good.
was actually
Right. That's real smooth. I love that. Well, thank y'all both for being here today with us as we talk about transition. And King, can we start off with you?
Yeah.
What was life like for you going from high school to college?
Yeah.
Can you go back that far?
Look, I'm
speaking
that
about
far,
it.
like I'm old. I ain't gonna lie to you. Now that I'm like 28 and I'm about to hit 29 actually,
Wow.
October 1st.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm almost 30.
Yeah.
I don't like that.
Yeah.
I'm
Do you
not
feel
feeling
old?
that.
Oh,
So I'm
my
starting to
goodness.
slowly
Come
feel
on.
old.
Oh my
What?
God.
But I know I'm still in my prime. I really
Yeah.
in my prime
You
yet.
are
No,
in
yeah,
the
you're
like,
fine.
Yeah,
You're
I'm
fine.
in that transition
sweet
phase.
spot. Okay. Transition too.
Yeah, transition phase. But from high school to college, it was definitely a major adjustment. I mean, I think it was the first time where I've ever fully had a sense of freedom, you know, because for so long, I wasn't really sheltered, but I was sheltered.
Yeah.
Right? I didn't really have the say-so to make my own decisions because mom and dad always did that for me. So my first time ever going to college, on my official visits, it was eye-opening.
Yeah.
It was eye-opening from the temptations, from, you know, just the people that are always in your ear and just having to be able to, you know, experience this new phase of life by yourself.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, you still have your parents in your life, but they're at home. Now you have to answer to nobody except your coaches. You come home to your own crib, to your own place. You have your own car.
Yeah.
Nobody telling you what your curfew is. So I think that was probably the biggest adjustment, trying to, you know, learn life on your own. And, you know, when I jumped into college, I got diagnosed with a heart disease immediately, first week.
Did you any indication of that before college?
Nah.
None?
No, man, I had no indication.
Wow.
So, you know Isaiah Austin?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So Isaiah Austin, what happened to him was very unfortunate. But ever since his incident, Coach Drew vowed that every boys basketball player has to get tested for echocardiograms and EKGs when they come.
Yeah.
And my first week here, got tested. Mine came back abnormal. They had no idea what was going on. We had to fly to 3 different doctors. So we went to Seattle first, the Seahawks doctor. We went to Maryland next, and then we went to the Mayo Clinic. And all 3 basically said the same thing.
Yeah.
Said if you continue to play basketball, you're going to die.
Wow.
And I'm surprised you haven't died yet. And as an 18-year-old, similar to you, you know, I played my whole life playing basketball.
Yeah.
My whole life, I've been in the gym. I've been dedicated to the sport to finally be able to live out my dream and play at Baylor, just for it to get taken away.
Yeah.
So, you know, at 18 years old, that was probably one of the hardest things I've ever had to experience. We talk about navigating life by yourself, right?
Yeah.
So now I'm navigating this, and granted, my parents are there, but this is the first time in which, you know, my faith has actually been put to test.
Wow.
Because
for
for
yourself.
so long, for so long, it's your parents' faith.
Yeah.
You grow up and they force you to go to church.
Yeah.
So now you're on your own.
Wow.
And when you're on your own, now all of a sudden you have to grow into your own faith. So this is the first time in which I had to come into my own faith, and God was like, hey, I'm gonna put you through this adversity. What are you gonna do?
Oh,
how you gonna respond?
That's a tough adversity to be put through.
That is heavy.
Wow, that's literally
That's a
life
tough
or
one.
death, like adversity.
That is
adversity.
heavy.
100%. So
Wow.
then I went to the Mayo Clinic, and they told me that you know, I could play, but I had to get a heart surgery. I have to have an internal cardiac defibrillator placed inside of my body in order to ensure my safety. And I know you know those 2-pronged defibrillators. Whenever you see in like a medical show like Grey's Anatomy, or something, and they shock you back to like zzz, right? So those things, there's an internal one. It's about the size of I don't know, like a credit card.
Oh, wow.
It's placed inside my body, underneath my rib cage, connects to my heart, and if anything were to happen, it'll shock me back to life. Now, granted, knock on wood, it's never ever been tested, so I don't know.
Praise God. Let's hope.
Praise God.
Let's hope.
For sure.
Yeah.
But it's placed inside to ensure my safety.
Yeah.
So for that reason alone, it's that was a major shift.
Oh my.
To be able to literally go through nothing hard really in life.
Yeah.
Now I'm having a heart surgery, an invasive heart surgery.
Yeah.
That literally changed my life in the blink of an eye.
I cannot imagine.
That's crazy.
So we went real heavy, real quick. And this is amazing though. So like as you're going in there, and I want to understand like your perspective shift now that you went through all of that, and now you're coming into campus. Like, what does the outlook look like for you when you're, first you're probably super excited, the world's out there, you're getting into college, but now with this, what does that look like for you?
Yeah, I think at the time, my perspective was, why me? I think so many times we go through something challenging, we go through something hard, and we automatically jump to God. Why are you doing this to me? Why am I the one being punished?
Yeah.
I grew up in church. I grew up serving you, and I see dudes. I got homies who are literally living in a life of sin. We're not casting any judgment, right? But they're living in a life of sin, and all of a sudden, you're blessing them.
Yeah.
You're allowing them to go into the NBA, go to the draft, and live out their dreams. But I'm the one that's getting punished,
Yeah.
So I had that why me mentality, and I think that shift that you're referring to is when you go from why me to what can I learn from this?
Come on.
And I think that's where I had to really be able to grow. And that's where my parents and their faith, they had to teach me in that moment of, hey, what can I learn from this? What is God trying to show you in this moment?
Yeah.
And I think looking back now, hindsight is always 2020.
Of course.
But looking back now, it's you never ever know, I guess, what God is going to do with your life until you're actually in it.
Yeah.
I think that we see through a lens that is literally just
straightforward,
it's super
straight line. Yeah.
But God has a bigger picture. And I know that's so cliche. And that's just the sister. Everybody says that. Parents say that. Pastors always say that. But when I actually went through it and I see what God is doing through me now, I'm like, man, that's facts.
Yeah.
That's just straight facts. Like my vision was so straight and narrow, and I was not thinking about the bigger picture until God finally revealed it.
Wow. What a journey.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Bella, I want to know, because I know that you have, it sounds like you have a soft heart as well, or you have a heart for people. I've heard about some of the volunteer things that you've been doing, the work that you've been doing in the community. And I don't know what has inspired that, but maybe talk about like your drive for that.
So both my parents work in the medical field. My dad's a firefighter and my mom is a nurse.
Okay.
So growing up, it's always been like servant leadership. And my dad, whenever we were in middle school, he would always take us to go like feed the homeless. And now recently, my brother and I, before he left for college, we would go to Haven for Hope, like homeless kids, and we would like lead basketball practices. Or we would just go like make breakfast for the homeless, or go like to the food bank and put together or backpacks for kids. My brother just had a camp actually called For the City in San Antonio. We had 100 backpacks filled with school supplies for all the kids that signed up.
I
free
love
camp.
That. Yeah.
We had a financial literacy course in there, and then we had obviously basketball and like strength training. But I just really enjoy it. It brings me joy to help other people.
Yeah. I absolutely love that. I love that your parents have instilled that in you. And it's like you're saying, King, we take things from our parents because obviously I'm a parent, so I'm hoping that my kid take things from me. But it carries on later, right? Even if it's theirs for a moment, eventually it shifts to where it becomes like your own, and you make it into whatever it is that you want it to be. Do you think that is something that you continue to do as
definitely.
you get into wherever you end up in the next level?
For sure. Wherever I go, I always want to help the people around me. I think one of my whys and what drives me to play basketball is just like the little girls that are looking up to me and like, oh, I can be like her, or like the black girls that are looking up to me like, oh, she wears her natural hair, I could play like her. Like,
I love that.
Stuff.
Come on.
I love that.
How old are you? Wait, what are we talking about? Like, old soul over here.
Oh, I love that.
Right? Yeah. You don't typically hear this.
No.
First of all, she's talking about her why.
Right, yeah.
I have great parents, guys. I have great parents.
Wow. To actually have like my why.
Yeah.
That's interesting. It's new. It's thoughtful. You can tell that you are like very self-reflective.
Yeah, intentional.
Yeah. It's not just about basketball and
I'm over here just like when I was going into college, what was I thinking about? I was not thinking about my why.
That's your why.
Definitely not that.
I'm not thinking about my why. Oh my goodness, that is super impressive.
Thank you.
That is super impressive.
Bella, whenever it comes to like preparing to go from obviously with your having good parents and, teaching you what it takes or what it means to give back to the community, what kind of things have they taught you in terms of transitioning mentally into the next level, going from high school to college?
I think the main thing is just to always just keep going, just never give up, because I know it's gonna be hard. I feel like my parents have really prepared me well, and just not even just my parents, like my AU coach, like everyone has prepared me well to like go to the next level, and they've told me that it's gonna be hard, and I think I have the foundation to be able to go through that without like giving up and face the adversity and succeed through that.
Yeah,
sure.
yeah. Do you have a fear of the unknown, like of what to expect in college, or?
I think a little bit. I know I have like a lot of people I can ask about it, like if I have any questions, or people I know I have people that I can lean on for sure. So definitely have a fear of it, but I know that I have support.
Yeah.
I love that mentality because again, that's something that especially young people going into college, you're not thinking about. I remember, just a few months ago, we were having discussions, and it's something that we always have to emphasize with student athletes, is thinking about, hey, who are the individuals that are like giants in your life that you can stand on their shoulders and see further, right? There's an opportunity for you to learn more, to see and get understanding, so you don't have to go through all the struggles and troubles that they went through. So how do you go about like identifying those individuals that you want to aspire to be like, or that can inspire to keep going?
I mean, definitely my parents. They always talk about they don't want me to go make the same mistakes or go through the same hardships that they had to go through. So they have prepared me to like do that. And I have like old finest teammates who have gone through college or who are in college now that I can ask, like, how was your freshman year? What did you struggle with? Like, how did you, like, what helped you cope with that? And like, so I can take that into my freshman year. I don't have to deal with all the same struggles that they did.
How did you go about that, King?
Actually, tell you what had me thinking right now is like, I wish that I would have had more people like that. I wish I would have had people I can lean on, because my dad played at an NAIA school and he played at JUCO, so he really didn't understand the nuances of what came at this level. And there's a lot of them. So I think that you being able to have people that you can lean on and talk to is absolutely huge. And I wish I would have had that, because I didn't have that. I went in blind. I had no idea what this was made of.
Wow.
Right? Like, not only will this test your love for the game, this is going to test your love for Jesus every single time you step on this campus. for sure. Look, you can
test all your morals.
It's going to test everything that you have, most definitely. So I wish I would have had somebody, and I think that's why I aspire now, with me being 28, me being young. Any young dude that's about to enter this transition in this phase, just come holler at me. Like, come talk to me, or a woman, just come holler at me, come talk to me, because I want to be able to give free game. Like, I want to let you know what it's going to be like. Your first time going out on campus, I want to let you know what it's going to be like for sure. All the temptations you're going to face. How do you avoid these distractions? How do you handle these distractions? Things that I wish I would have known when I first stepped on campus that I had no idea about. So that's really good that you have people that you can talk to and you have in your corner that you can use as those giants that you referred to earlier.
One thing that I always, and I'm so glad that you brought it up, King, one thing that I always say, because, from hindsight, you look back and you're like, man, if I had somebody that could have, tell me this thing, it could be helpful. But when you're young, information coming to you, you don't necessarily always
come on.
You don't necessarily always take this advice, because you're like, look, I'm young, I'm gonna live forever, nothing bad is gonna happen to me, right? So sometimes it can be hard to take in information, but if you do have solid parents, solid guide, and a perspective, like, what is it do I want to accomplish out of this college experience, then I think that your life can be your experience in general can be a whole thing, because you have a vision as to what you want to do, rather than just kind of like, okay, I'm just here to play basketball, right? And then, like, whatever else comes after that comes without a vision as like, what do I want to do for the future?
That's really good. It's almost like you have to have a capacity to take in that information.
Yes,
for sure.
And sometimes it's perspective that gives you that, right? Whether you went through a situation or something took place in your life, and now you have like, oh, let me look at this with a bigger frame. But with just conversations like this, right, you can start to hone in some of those things that you want to accomplish. Like, Bella, tell us some of the things that you want to do, not just like, athletic wise, but like overall as you're going into this new phase of life.
No, yeah, for sure. The biggest thing for me is I just always want to leave a good impact on people, but I do want to go into college for broadcasting. So hopefully, like being a sideline reporter one day, maybe something like that. Or I don't know, honestly. Yeah,
that's good.
Well, you
That's
were
smart.
asking a question earlier.
Yeah.
You can go. You can
Yeah,
go ahead.
what makes you want to get into broadcasting?
So I took a journalism class in 8th grade and I loved it. And then my brother's AU coach, which is also one of my dad's good friends, came to me with an idea of this podcast called The Journey, where we interview parents of athletes
That's
and
cool.
just like ask them how they got their kids to where they are, what they would do the same, what they would do differently, what they would tell people like in their shoes, like what they would have wished they would have known. And I agreed to host it, and yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
And then I sometimes I'll do like short little interviews, ask people when did you fall in love with basketball? Like I got to interview Steph Curry, which was
What?
insane.
Yeah, how was that?
Insane.
Tell us
Oh
about
Oh my
that.
God, Steph is such a cool guy. He's really down to earth. So
Yeah.
the first time I met him was All-Star Weekend. I went out there with Curry Brand. There was like a few other athletes there, and he came over to us, like they had an open practice. He came over and he like said hi to everybody. I was like, "Can I interview you real quick?" It's just one question. He's like, "Of course."
Oh, wow.
I was shaking. I was so nervous. And then I just asked him when did he fall in love with basketball. He gave a great story, and yeah, it was insane. And then I went to his camp. I got invited to Curry camp, which was in August, and he was just like in all the workouts, giving us tips, everything. He was at Top Golf golfing with us.
Wow.
Like he's a great guy.
Yeah,
amazing.
yeah.
It was insane.
Wow.
King, how do you and first of all, like Bella, it seems like you're fine. Like some people, going into this field, you have to like get over some of the whether it's the camera or the mic and all of that. And it looks like you're fine.
That was
I definitely at first I was definitely very like always nervous in front of the camera, but I'm glad I started early so I don't have
There
to.
you go.
Okay,
There you go. There you go.
okay.
How do you get in the zone of doing that? Like King, what are
Yeah.
some of your tricks and tips that you've learned over the years?
Yeah, so it's the same thing like hooping. When it's just repetition. It's just getting in front of the camera. For instance, my first year at ESPN, because I got hired at 22. So I was the youngest person they ever hired in my position. So they don't teach you.
Wow.
They don't have any classes. I never took any classes on broadcasting. They just throw you into the fire.
Oh, wow.
Like, we're gonna put you on this game. We're gonna put you on air at this time, and you either gonna sink or you gonna swim.
Oh, that's
Like, hey, you better not embarrass us. Don't embarrass your family. But we just gonna see what you
a lot
made
of pressure. That's a lot
of pressure.
Yeah.
So I remember my first time. We were at a sitting like this. We were doing halftime shows. And I kept looking at the wrong camera.
Oh, wow.
Because I had no idea. So during a commercial break, I get a random phone call from one of the older dudes who are on our roster, who now is one of my mentors, who I've gotten chances to work with plenty of times. Yeah. But he calls me, he's like, "Hey, yo, whatever you doing right now, stop." Like, he said, "You are horrible. You're embarrassing us right now."
Oh, no.
Like, straight up. He said, "You're embarrassing us." And I'm looking at him like, okay. So what do I do?
Yeah.
So then he told me what to do. I fixed it, and he was like, "All right, good job. Way to listen, bro." Right? But that's just a perfect example of they didn't teach me anything.
Yeah.
So it's just a matter of now getting comfortable and being able to find your voice. And it took me honestly till year 3 or 4 to really be able to understand that.
Yeah.
Like, who am I on camera?
Yeah.
Like, some people say it's scary. I was working with Marcus Morris at the Big 12 tournament. And we were just sitting down, like, I mean, you were talking earlier, just chilling, real chill. And all of a sudden it was 3, 2, 1 and the lights came on and we was on set and I turned into a different person. And then you can physically see him go. And he was almost like, "Yo, how do you do that?" I was like, "Man, it's just something you got to learn." Like, when that camera come on, I'm amped. I'm hyped.
Yeah.
I'm like me times like 10 with the energy, right?
Wow.
But it's just the small nuances that you got to learn. But you seem comfortable behind the mic. You speak really well. You're confident. That's half the battle. Just being confident. If you're confident in who you are and confident in what you're saying, and you truly believe in yourself, man, that's 80% of the battle, honestly. Because there's going to be so many people out here that aren't going to like you for your natural hair, that aren't going to like you for the color of your skin, that aren't going to like you for certain things in the way that you speak because you're different, right?
Wow.
And that's the same thing I face. People don't like me because I'm different.
Yeah.
They tell me you got to go wear a suit and a tie every single time you do a game. Who said that? What rules is that?
Yeah.
Those are the rules that used to be a thing that were made back in the day.
Yeah.
We've never had any issues with that. And ESPN has done a really good job of allowing me the freedom and the flexibility to be who I am.
I love
because
that.
they don't want to limit me.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm going to say what I want to say. I'm going to talk how I want to talk. you're not going to tell me how I can talk and how I can dress. Because then you're limiting me from the freedom of being who I want to be and expressing myself.
I love
so
that.
just stay true to yourself, no matter what they tell you to do. And I love the representation that we're starting to see on the TV screen. Like my sister, Monica McNutt. She wears her natural
hair.
She ain't letting nobody tell her who to be. Like Christine Williamson, she's bald. She's going to be her at all times. Same thing with Drea. Like Andrea Carter, super dope. But we're starting to have more representation in the field of women who are unapologetically themselves. And I love it. So stay true to you.
Yes,
be who you are.
Yeah. How did you get into broadcasting? Like, how did this transition happen?
So, I had the heart disease, and my senior year, I had a injury. It was I had to. I didn't tear my meniscus, but I had to get it cleaned out. So it still put me out about 3-4 months, or 3-4 weeks, maybe like a month and a half, maybe. But I had this injury, and my SID at the time, David K?
Yeah.
So David K was our SID, and he basically said, you'd be really good on TV. And I said, I don't know. I don't see it. Because let's go back, right? Because there's been no representation. I look on ESPN. I haven't seen anybody that looks like me or that talks like me or that dresses like me. So there's no way. I didn't even think it was a possibility, right? So like coming into college, like you're saying I want to get into broadcasting because you've seen more representation. I never saw that. So I'm like, this is not a thing. There's no way I can do this. So he let me, he told everybody in the game that we did, he told all the commentators that I wanted to, do what they did one day. And I met Holly Rowe. And Holly let me shadow her one day. She actually came into practice and was like, hey, Scott, let me get him real quick. Let me get King. You're going to come after practice. You're going to dress in a suit and you're going to shadow me. And I was like, let's go. All right, cool. Let's do it. Let's do it. So I shadowed her, learned a lot, learned the ins and the outs of a truck and how it worked. And then fast forward, when it was time for me to go through my NBA draft process, mind you, I'd already built a bunch of connections. So it's time for me to go through my NBA draft process. Mind you, I had been practicing and playing and wanting to be in the NBA my whole life. That is what I worked for. I already overcame that hurdle of being told I could never play basketball, like I should be dead. Now it's time, okay, I did 4 years. Let me at least, I knew I wasn't gonna get drafted, but I knew I could, get on a roster, get on a training camp roster. And the way that I played, I knew I wasn't a superstar, but I could definitely be a role player. And 90% of the league are role players. So I could definitely fit into a role. Like I'll go play some defense, I'll knock down an open shot. I can definitely put my pride aside to go make $1 million. You ain't got to tell me twice. When you say it like that. Hey, you ain't got to tell me twice. I could change my family's life by just sacrificing and diving on the floor for a loose ball and taking a charge. Happily, right? So I knew my limitations. I knew what I was capable of doing. So every single NBA team, when I put my name in, they all red flagged me and said, nope, you cannot play. So I was absolutely crushed. I was devastated. I had a bunch of offers to go overseas. But at the time, my daughter, she's 7 now. She was less than 1 at the time. And I had to make the grown-up decision, just quit basketball, because you go overseas for about 8, 9, 10 months. You come back, and now you don't really know who your daughter is.
Come on.
And you make a 10 to 15 year career of that. Your daughter's almost a teenager, and I truly don't know you. Right? I take pride in being a father. That's one of the most important things, most important jobs I could ever have. So I quit basketball. I had no idea what I was going to do. But I built connections because of what David K said. And I reached out to those people who I built connections with: Holly Rowe, Boog Shiambi, Van Gundy. Because Van Gundy did our Iowa State game, so I talked to him too. Miles Simon, who played at Arizona. I built connections with all these people, and I contacted all of them, texted them, hey, I'm done playing basketball. What do I do? So Holly Rowe was doing the Women's College World Series. I was in Dallas. I was struggling. I didn't know what I was going to do. I was lost, absolutely lost, because basketball was over me. I had no plan B. I was going to maybe get in a coach, maybe a grad assistant, but I had no plan B, because for so long as hoopers, as athletes, we think we're going to do one thing for forever until that ball actually goes flat and you have that realization. You're like, oh my gosh, like this is a reality, right? So Holly Rowe's in Oklahoma City doing the Women's College World Series. I'm in Dallas. She said, if you serious, drive up here. I said, all right, say less.
Let's go.
Hopped in the car, drove up there, shadowed her. Actually, I didn't get to shadow her. We literally sat in her hotel room for 2 hours doing a mock game. So we pulled up her laptop. She played a game, and she was the play-by-play. I was the analyst. and we were just doing a mock game right there. So for 2 hours, I just drove all the way there just to do a mock game with her.
Yeah.
And she
Wow.
she recorded it and like sent it to the head boss and
Wow.
was like, hey, this young man right here is serious. He just drove 3.5, 4 hours to come just do this mock game with me. He wants this. Scott Drew was persistent, texting the main guy at ESPN.
Yeah.
Hey, King wants this.
Yeah.
Like he got it from Boog Shiambi too, like multiple people, because I was willing to put in the work. So the head guy finally gave me a call. He said, do you have a reel? And I was like, what is that? And he said, just like you on camera, kind of like what you do when you were interviewing people, when you were interviewing Steph Curry. Like, do you have a reel? And I said, no. So we had to do a makeshift reel. So I had to just grab a suit, call Coach Drew, be like, hey, let me interview you real quick. And then some of my teammates, same thing. Let me interview you real quick. So I did that, sent it to him. He must have liked it or whatever. So then they call me, and he's like, hey, let's fly you out for an audition. I said, I bet, this is my shot. I did that audition in like July.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't hear back till October.
Oh, wow.
When I tell you in that span of 2.5, 3 months, I was panicking. I was like, I didn't get this job.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
And she finally gave me a call and said, hey, we're going to offer you a contract. Man, I started crying immediately.
I can't imagine.
I started crying
I
immediately
can't
because that was my
imagine.
first time. I actually felt like, I did something.
Yeah.
Like I was successful.
Yeah.
Like I actually kind of sort of, because I mean, it wasn't a lot of money, but I actually kind of sort of like made it out in a sense.
Yeah.
I had no other option. I had no plan B. So that was my first time in life where I actually felt not accomplished, but in a sense,
Of course.
accomplished, right?
Of course.
So that's really how I got into it, is because of the connections that I built.
Yeah.
It's never about what you know, but it's always about who you know.
Did you hear that?
This was like that was a whole playbook that you just gave.
Yeah, like,
if you are wanting to get into that field, and that was a playbook that you gave. I heard some incredible things that I know you were paying attention, Bella. I saw you. The folks that advocated for you,
Yes,
right? You talk about like the David Kaiser that says that's seen something in you and say, hey, you can do this, right? I saw the shadowing opportunity.
Yeah.
Hey, that's such a huge miss for a lot of people. I remember you remember, hun, 2 years in a row I went to shadow my mentors at the UN and and that's a huge opportunity. If you see somebody that's doing something that you like or that you aspire to do, hey, take your time, take your money and make it happen. Go shadow them. That was incredible. And building those connections that whenever there was time, you were just like knocking them out, like, hey, and persistence. Persistence was another part of it, right? And then you had all those advocates around you too. That was a whole playbook.
It was.
I mean, it'll be easy for her. I mean, now that we've connected, I mean, you got me as a resource. And I can help you make all those introductions to everybody I named earlier.
Wow.
With the Monica
Let's
McNutt,
go.
Let's go, Bella.
And it's honestly, and if I were you, I would, whatever school you choose to go to, make those connections with whoever does your game. Because I'm assuming you're going to go to a big school. So you're going to see the Rebecca Lobos. You're going to see Holly Rose. You're going to see the Brooke Reesbros. Like, you're going to see everybody in our field who calls games at a high level, no matter who it is. If it's Fox, if it's ESPN, if it's CBS, no matter who it is, go up to them and tell them you want to be a broadcaster one day. You want to get into the field. Get numbers. I did it my senior year. If you can start your freshman year and build those,
you will have reels.
Yes, you would definitely have reels. You would definitely have reels, and also don't be afraid to do content with your team. Kind of like how you were doing it with the parents and Steph Curry. Do the same thing. Let you be the face of the program when it comes to interviewing players, coaches. You have any new people on the team. That's your responsibility. You're the one interviewing them. You're the one introducing them. So then by the time you literally get to this world or get to this side of things, you're locked in. Like even I forgot Carolyn Peck, like CP, like she's amazing. She's great. She could be another huge resource to you. So there's so many people. And one thing about the women's side is they all help each other.
Yeah.
Like even, my bad, I started to tap. And I know you're probably looking like, oh, this dude right here.
Like, don't tap.
So yeah, but they always advocate for each other. They're very protective about their game, and I love that because they should be, because the women's game is growing and it's turning into something that it should have been a long time ago.
Yeah.
And I love the way that it's trending upwards. So they want more women of color, more women. Like you even see the whole thing with Elle, Shanae, and even Monica does it sometimes. But they have that it's sponsored by Shea Moisture. So during the NCAA tournament, they called it the Big Three. But I thought it was dope because it was sponsored by Shea Moisture, right? And it was like a brown set and everything.
Yeah.
And they made it a big deal of like 3 women of color getting up there doing halftime shows.
Yeah.
Like they take pride in that.
Yeah.
And I could see you up there one day. So I mean, now that we've connected, I mean, you definitely have a resource in me, and I'll be more than willing to help you anyway,
so
for
much.
sure.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Even if you don't go to Baylor.
How do you feel? Do you feel like you are like this is setting you up? You're choosing a career path where you know you can succeed. Like,
Definitely.
do you like? How do you feel with everything that King just said?
Yeah, I definitely am very grateful to be in this room right now. I'm soaking up everything. Thank you so much for like all the wisdom that you just shared on us, for sure.
Yeah. This is really good. Like all the insight. And I think, one of the things that I want to point out with what you said, you had your head coach fighting for you, so that shows that there's something that you left, that there's an impression that you left on your head coach that he is able to fight for you and is like, hey, can you offer this person a job? So what that means is wherever you end up going, it's important about relationships, right?
Definitely.
Relationships, connection, all the things matter. It's not just about what you do on the court, but how you make people feel. Like you said, your big why, what impression you leave on people when you leave the university is what's gonna matter, right? So always be mindful of that, because they can have a contact that can just kind of set you up for the future, right?
Yeah.
So be mindful of that.
Bella, I'm gonna put you on the spot right now.
Ooh, okay.
With what questions do you have? You have a couple legends over there right now, right? And they've done stuff, whether it's transitioning into sports, transitioning into the pros, transitioning into broadcasting. So you have a whole world right there. Whatever direction that you go into, like what kind of questions would you have for them? What kind of things would you hope to learn as you're growing, continuing to grow?
Okay, so for basketball, what would y'all say is like the hardest transition from high school over to college? What was like the hardest thing for both of y'all?
I think for me is like the time management, balancing school and practice, and trying to make sure that you're on time, because like King said earlier, there's nobody like waking you up anymore and telling you that you have to go to practice, and putting in the extra work in order for you to be good. In high school, people tell you, hey, come work out, right? You have your schedule. But in college, you have to set that for yourself, right? In order for you to grow, to get to the next level, you have to do so much more for yourself than that, because the coaches can't make you anymore, and nobody can make you do anything anymore, right? You're away from your parents, so they can't wake you up anymore, right? But you have to be the one to do that. So I think that, to me, was trying to get a hold of that was the most difficult thing, when nobody was telling me what to do anymore. And I had to make sure that I did that on my own.
For me, just from an actual basketball long court standpoint, tell me if I'm wrong, because I don't know if the men's game and the women's game is different in this facet, but for me, it was the decision making on the court. Like adjusting to the speed of the game, not necessarily that you have to move faster, but you have to think faster. So if I'm coming off a pick and roll, like I have to hit that pocket in a way quicker window. I have to be able to read the defense, read where the backside tag is coming from way faster than I used to do in college, right? It's no longer I can take my time to get into my move. I have to know where the defender's creeping up. I have to go by. If they're sagging off, I have to be able to shoot it. But it's the decision-making process every single time you're on the floor. And like I said, you don't have to move faster. You don't have to be faster. Your mind has to move faster on the floor when you're playing.
Yeah.
That was the biggest adjustment for me, for sure.
And Sophia, you were drafted number 4?
I was.
What was the draft process like from college and going into the W?
Yeah. So for me, I didn't go to college thinking I was going to make the WNBA or anything, but life happened, and the same thing I told you about, making sure if you want to be good, putting in the work to be good for yourself. So I think that's the only thing that I did that separated me from my teammates, right? It's the extra 15 minutes after practice when everybody's gone and you're just there by yourself and figuring out, what do I need to do better so I can be better at practice the next day? What do I need to do better to make sure that I don't make the same mistakes that I did in the last game, right? And so that was a game that I played with myself. So going from didn't even think about being drafted to getting drafted number 4. That was a separation. And for me, I was supposed to get drafted number 3, because of all that, the mock draft. And it just happened that the team that was supposed to draft me just made a decision right on the stage that they're not going to draft me. They drafted somebody else. And that's how I ended up in San Antonio as number 4. But I am so grateful that I did, because I spent my whole entire career in San Antonio. And I took the same mentality from college of, what do I need to do different to be better next year, right? So I've always had this mentality that I'm not good enough yet, right? I always had something else I need to work on. So every year I made myself better, right? And this wasn't anybody telling me. This was just what I knew that I needed to do in order to separate myself. And in order to do that, you have to get in the gym when nobody's looking.
For sure.
Yeah.
And what made y'all want to start this podcast?
Sure.
And when did y'all start it?
Yeah. So this podcast, as I was telling King earlier, is, it's kind of a reflection of our family values. So it's the name is Relationships and Reason. Our family mission is to be good stewards of our relationships, resources, and reason. And so for us, there is a lot that we've been given, that we've learned, and we want to share that as much as we can, but also help to build people up, right? And we are passionate about those areas, what we're talking about today, those relationships, right? We believe in building strong relationships. And then we've been given resources, whether that's our skills and the physical things that we have, and we want to be able to utilize that well. And so this is a part of that, right? Using this platform to be able to share that. And then we just love talking to people about, why they believe, God placed them here, and what they want to continue to do. So that's the reason why we and then Sophia just loves to talk about stuff. So she's always wanted to talk to people, always wanted to show. And so I was like, okay, yeah, I'll do it with you.
That's cute.
Yeah, we believe that there is a purpose, right, for us all here on earth at this point in life. Like when you think about it, you're like, God, why did you send me in this time, in this family, in this time of life? It's not in the 1920s, right? It's not in the 2090. It's 2025. So there has to be a purpose. Like, why did you send me here? What do you want me to accomplish? So being able to help people, figure that out and, hear people's why. Like, why am I here? Why do they feel that God has brought them here? What do you feel like God has empowered you to do to spread the gospel, right? And to share the love of Christ to others. So, yeah.
Yo, this has been so incredible. Like,
Hey.
Bella, I'm super impressed. We are super impressed.
I'm impressed.
We're so proud of you. We're so proud of you.
Like,
She's so grown up.
Come
and
on,
mature.
man. Like, it's like you're graduating college.
Yeah, I know. Like, you're not
I'm
just
only
going
17,
in.
guys.
Wow.
Oh, wow,
No,
yeah.
Super
Oh, my wow.
impressive.
I got a question for her. When you talk about your schools, all right, what goes into making a decision into where you want to go for your future?
So I definitely talk a lot with my parents about it. I think the biggest thing for me is just like a family, like people that I can rely on, because I know college is going to be hard, and just being able to want to go through hard with the people I'm around every day. That's probably the biggest thing for me going through college. I think the way that I play, I could honestly fit in anywhere, because I'm a shooter who could play defense, who can get rebounds. I could really play anywhere. But I think the biggest thing for me is just a family that I can rely on, for sure.
Yeah. And that is important. We all know the challenges that come with college. You need a core, a group of people that you can just trust, right, in this process, because life is gonna happen. Life is gonna be lifing, and the decisions are gonna come where you have to make them. So being able to have people you can trust to help you with those is gonna be helpful.
That's good. And King, I want to say, man, thank you so much for bringing your insight and just opening up the playbook for all of us, right? And for those that are listening, this has been incredible. You're a giant, right? You are a giant right now. Sharing that vision for other people to see, and want you to continue doing that. We encourage you to continue doing that. So we're just grateful for y'all coming on this podcast and sharing your insights and your aspirations. So, hey, y'all. So anything before we jump off?
Thank you. Thank y'all.
Thank you.
Incredible.
Thank y'all.
Incredible. So, hey, y'all, thank you so much for listening to this incredible episode. We're so grateful to have been joined with Bella and King, and just talking an incredible conversation. So Join in next time. Share with others that you feel need to hear some of these stories. But we're looking forward to the next episode. And again, just thank you for being here.
This has been a Rogue Media Network production.
And Doug.
Here we have the Limu Emu in its natural habitat, helping people customize their car insurance and save hundreds with Liberty Mutual. Fascinating. It's accompanied by his natural ally, Doug.
Limu? Is that guy with the binoculars watching us?
Cut the camera. They see us.
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Savings vary. Underwritten by Liberty Mutual Insurance Company and affiliates. Excludes Massachusetts.
Your sausage McMuffin with egg didn't change. Your receipt did. The sausage McMuffin with egg extra value meal includes a hash brown and a small coffee for just $5. Only at McDonald's for a limited time.
Prices and participation may vary.